class. Today we shall look at computer systems. All right. Now, by definition, a computer system is a set of integrated devices that input, process, store, and output data and information. Okay. Now, processing systems, there are many different types. Okay. We've got interactive systems, network systems, monitoring systems, real-time system, automated system. There are many. But for today's lesson, we shall look at the batch processing system. And what you're saying is, a batch processing system is a computerized system that groups similar jobs to be executed at the same time. Okay. Now, in a batch processing system, once the batch is processing, the user, the one who commands these jobs to be executed, has limitations. He cannot interrupt once the program begins to be executed. That's what happens in a batch system. Okay. Now let's also look at areas where the batch processing can be used in our everyday life. Okay, one of the areas is in the utility bills, like companies like Zesco or water utility bills. When they are producing bills or their bills for customers, they actually use the batch process system to carry out its job, to print out or to do the tasks. Same applies with the telephone bills. Okay, so let's look at the other type where where it can be used. Banks. So in banks, it can also be used when you're producing bank statements for its clients. Okay. Then the other one is on the payroll system. In this case, the pay slips. Now, long ago, before the introduction of online pay slips for civil servants in Zambia, they used to produce hard copy pay slips for all the civil servants in Zambia. And to do that, they used the batch processing system. Okay. Now, also it can be used in retail outlets where the store records of daily transactions are done. So the batch processing system can actually also be used in a retail shop. Okay. Now let's look at the benefits and limitations of a batch processing system. So we'll begin by looking at the advantages in other words. Okay, one of the advantages is that it does not inconvenience the operations of the day. Okay, so in this case, what happens is you can be working normally in your working hours. Then, like for example, like when you knock off, you can command the computer or the batch process system to actually carry out its task. So it can run overnight. The next day you come, you find everything is done. The job has been executed. So what you're saying is it does not interrupt on when one is still working in a particular job. Also, we are saying it's faster when processing many programs. Okay, it's faster because a batch. That's the term batch. It means these are groups of similar tasks or jobs. Okay, so it's like I'll give an example of a phone. If you want to send messages to, let's say, 50 people or many people, okay, so the Airtel the software people that have come up with cell phones, they have actually grouped, okay, the number of texts that can be sent to a number of people at a particular time. Okay, so maybe one text can go to 10 or 12 people can receive the same messages. So it depends. But what you're saying is a batch is just a group of information that is dispatched. Okay. Now, one of the advantages also is simple to work with as compared to the real-time processing system. Of course, we shall look at this later on. But it's actually easy to manipulate around it when you're looking at the batch processing system. Okay. Now the other one, we look at the limitations, and what you're saying is anything of technology, you and I will agree that it requires some training, some skills are needed to be length before executing any type of a device. So this requires training, meaning cost can also come in here, right? Now, when there's a problem, we have commanded, you have done everything that is needed, then there's a problem, the batch processing cannot do the tasks. It becomes difficult sometimes to spot the error where it is. Okay, so what you're saying is it can be complex in debugging or finding out the problem why it cannot run. Okay, then the other one is time consuming when collecting data or getting its job being done. Okay, so different users can command to the computer for their job, for their tasks to be done, so that is time consuming. Similarly, when the batch processing is executing, it takes time for the output to come. Okay, so that's about it. Now, the other limitation is, as once the batch process starts, like I said earlier on, the user has limited access to the system. He cannot interrupt it. So if maybe I'd made a mistake or want to push in something new, it won't allow that. Once it has been commanded, it has to execute until it's done. Okay. Then the other one is batch process may require expensive computers that do not break easily due to long processing hours. Like I said earlier on, sometimes you work. I mean, you knock off, you leave night off the whole night. Okay, it's just running. Okay, so if you have got weak computers which are not really strong, they can easily not stand that hours of processing, meaning that you need to have good expensive computers which can stand that pressure of it executing. Okay, thank you.